show my screen. Okay, can you see this?
Yep, we can.
Okay, so it's pretty cool. So basically, I built this as like an initial screen for businesses we're looking at. So
Mm.
I can click analyze a company. I can say, private, public, or private credit deal. Now you can name any company. So let's name, is it INC, Every Inc?
Yeah, Every Media Inc.
And Every Media Inc. Well, let's see how it does. Every Media, New York. And let's see. And then basically you can upload any like proprietary documents you have or whatever. And then you just say analyze. Now it's going to go out and get company background, any financials it can find. It's going to look at the leadership team and look at like, have any of you
They're
committed
kind of sketchy.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the flags to come up here, but it's like, have they like been sued by a million people? Have they committed financial crimes? Blah blah blah. And then it runs evaluation, generates a report, and then we can develop a deal memo based on it. Let's let this run. It might be broken, but anyway, it's been not helpful yet, but you can see where it's going rapidly. I'm still dealing with hallucinations and data being inaccurate and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, here we go.
Very cool. What is running this? Is this Opus in the background, or what is the?
This is yeah, it's all using the Claude API, and then I use Tavily and Apify to pull financial data and like do the actual checks and Firecrawl a little bit. It's like not accurate, but what's shocking is just how far I was able to get in a very brief period of time. I think the most infuriating thing about vibe coding is that you can really get 95% of the way there in like 2 hours. And then the final 5%, it goes on forever.
Classic.
It's insane. Like on my, let me open my personality app while we wait for this.
Please.
On my personality app, I've had this like insane bug where everyone that tries to use it at some point has an issue, and then all their results are corrupted. And so it's like they just spend an hour filling out forms and boom, here they are, right? It's like, so this is the other app while we wait for the other one. This is the personality app. And so basically
I only see the Deal Hunter screen.
Oh, here, let me fix that. So basically, once you fill out, you do about 30 minutes of questions. It writes you this massive document, like literally, like I think this is 100 pages of like every aspect of your personality and life, and then it also builds this whole thing. So basically, once you have all your results, it has this thing that lets you create a custom AI. So you can create a ChatGPT GPT or a project or a Claude project or a Grok, and it gives you a prompt that basically breaks down all of your different scoring. And then you can invite your partner and compare with them. You can send it to your therapist, so it'll actually create like a clinical version of the PDF and all your issues. And then it also creates these cards. So like one is like, what's the best way to work with me? What's my communication style? What are my strengths? What are the best tasks for me, etc. And then we've got all these cool graphs that show, your attachment style, different interpersonal styles, motivations. Anyway, it's just like, it's so cool. It's so useful. I found it so useful for me, and I'm like so excited to show everyone, but I'm just astounded by the level of quality of the design and how quickly I was able to build it.
It's just so comprehensive. Like there's so much to it, and it looks real. Like it doesn't look like some.
No, it's not like some vibe coded, like you can tell when someone's used like a Lovable or used Lovable, and there's just kind of like a template or whatever. So here's the Deal Hunter. It's come back on every.
I want to know what my multiple is.
Yeah, so let's see. It's saying highly speculative acquisition opportunity.
Not wrong.
It's saying that due to lack of publicly available information. So here's like a breakdown of the company, how many employees. I should get your name. I don't
I
know
feel like
why
you
it
got to
didn't.
change your algorithm a
Yeah,
little bit.
I don't know why it didn't get that. And then it's not doing evaluation because it doesn't know your numbers or whatever. But anyway, all this would be filled out if I uploaded financials and stuff.
Does it have a regular
Um,
web search tool?
it does.
Oh,
I don't know why. Yeah, this is the problem. So I got to this point of
yeah.
like the design looking the way I want and everything, and then the last 5% has it's been me going in circles over and over and over again,
Mm,
trying to get this stuff to actually get the results right. And so what I'll do is I'll like export it as a PDF, show Claude, tell it to fact check everything, and then reverse engineer
mm.
to use the right APIs to get the right information, but it's still,
I have
worked.
a couple suggestions for you. If you install the compound engineering plugin, um, one thing that you can do, and I think you have it, but we'll put it in the chat. But one thing you can do is you can have it test itself
Mhm.
and just say like, just keep going until this works, which I love because then you just walk away and you're just like, you just watch it working and it's just like, it's just going until it works. But I think we also have this skill that's agent native review, which will review your app for like how well it conforms to agent native principles. And I
Mm.
would guess if you made it like slightly more agent native, maybe not fully, but slightly, it would fix a lot of these issues. It would
Mm.
like be smart enough to be like, yeah, I know I have to fill out this section. I'm going to do a bunch of web searching until I find out all the stuff because there's a lot of public information about every on the internet. So I would guess that this is actually a problem of this architecture being a little bit more traditional because that's just like how AIs think. They're not trained to think this way. You have to like prompt them to think this
Well, and
way.
this does need to scale, right? Like we're going to do one analysis every like 3 days or
Right.
something.
Right.
I think like where I'm at with vibe coding now is like I am starting to realize how important it is to set up the guardrails in the beginning, to have proper logging, and give the AI all the tools it needs to actually debug and self heal and all that. And I'm curious, like compound engineering. The only thing about it that I was slightly confused by is it seems like you need to be very specific about what you want to build. Like, go build this one feature, not like what I've been doing has been like, hey, here's like the end goal, go build like 5 features at once. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you don't need to do it. You can use it in the way that you're envisioning for sure.
Hmm. I've used it for a few code reviews and it's been amazing. Although I
Mm.
had a few bugs with the playwright, but I think that's been resolved now.
One thing I want to show you, and I don't know how much time you have left, but one thing I want to show you that I think you're going to find fascinating, and this is on agent native architectures, but it's actually agent native ways of building a company. Um, so we used Notion to do all of our 2026 planning, and our COO Brandon just like went super hard on using agents to help all of us plan for each department in the company, like make our 2026 plan and then make sure it conformed to the overall goals for the company. So let's see if I can share my screen again.
Dude, I just gotta say, you're so lucky that you have so many people at the top across all your whole business that are all like AI native.
I
Because
really
like
am.
our problem is like, we've got 30 CEOs. Some of them love AI, some of them they're like, oh, it's all overblown, whatever. It's very difficult to do the change management across so many businesses.
It really is. I'm super lucky, and that's why I love like our whole business is to do this because it filters for people who are like just all in on trying to do it well. So this is our 2026 strategy doc, and basically Brandon was like, "Okay, Dan, I just want you to write our 2026 strategy, like the top level strategy." So I did that, and I did this like partially me and partially Claude. And it's like, okay, just super clear. We're the only subscription you need to stay at the edge of AI. How do we do it? Who do we do it for? All that kind of stuff. What's our theme? I think we've been super. We do a lot of different things, and we just need to like pull everything down into like one company, one subscription that's like really legible and that everyone can understand and provides a lot of value for the specific people that we're serving. So anyway, I wrote that 2026 strategy. And then what he did is he created a Notion agent, which is like a new feature that they haven't really publicized that much yet. And it interviewed everyone in every department about how they did last quarter, and then what they're going to do this quarter, and then how it levers up into the overall company strategy. And so all of this is basically written more or less by the Notion agent, more or less by Claude, but like with a lot of back and forth from all of the department heads. And it asks tough questions. It helps you check assumptions. It
Is that an email, or what are they getting? Like a message in Notion?
to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a ping from Brandon being like, please do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just made everything about how we, we're 20-ish people or whatever. It just made everything about how we run the company so much easier and so much better. And we're like just scratching the surface. Like now we're doing this for people who apply for jobs, and we're starting to do this for we have a bunch of stuff in our editorial, like how we do copy editing and how we do other kinds of edits to make sure that pieces we're writing are like, top grade. It's really cool. It's really interesting.
It's crazy. I'm so like, I'm the kind of person, like I love systems like this, but what I don't like is change management, and I don't like trying to get all the people to use the system. But I feel like this just kind of makes it so incredibly easy that it feeds through the entire business. I'm so excited I feel so jealous of like entrepreneurs starting today. Like this stuff like this, just, it makes the idea that, you build an agent that basically goes through every single, imagine you have 1,000-person organization. It goes through every single person and gets their feedback on the strategy, boils up all the information to the CEO, just allows the CEO to basically talk to everyone in their own customized way and get feedback from everyone. Like, I just think it's totally unheard of and insane, and previously would have required like this huge HR team.
Totally. And like I had this experience the other day where I've been experimenting with, okay, if we started every today and we were doing a newsletter today, what would that look like? Because I don't think it would be the thing that we have. And so one of my ideas was, okay, I'm going to make Claude Code. Eventually I'll make this a whole agent, but right now it's just Claude Code, and it's going to go through all of our like our whole Discord. We use Discord for our internal company operations. It's going to go through our Discord and just find all the interesting shit that we're talking about. And then it's going to pitch me stories based on whatever we're talking about, because there's always like a new tool or a new workflow or whatever. And so I just set it off. I was like, go log in my Discord, go through my DMs, go through everything, and pitch me some ideas. And it came up with some really good stuff. And like I then sent out, we're dog fooding it internally, because I only want to do it if everyone at Every is like, this is the fucking best. Like I read this every day. So we're starting to dog food it internally. But one of the things that happened is it was going through our Discord and it found a link to a granola meeting that had happened that day. And then it went and read the granola meeting. And then it told me about something that had happened in that meeting that I would have had an opinion on, that I would have had no idea that it had happened. And I was immediately able to just be like, hey, like I just saw this happen in this meeting, like do this. And that's crazy. And that happened by accident. But if you're doing it on purpose, I'm sure there's like plenty of stuff that's happening in plenty of meetings that I want to know about, that I now can know about.
Do you record every single company meeting?
Not every single, but we're moving in that direction for sure. For a long time.
Like one problem I have is like I have a AI agent. I use Fireflies or Otter depending on the day, and it auto logs into all the Zooms, but sometimes it doesn't get in, or whatever. Have you figured out an architecture whereby you can basically plug into every single meeting? Because what I would love is to be like, what's happening at Tiny? Like what's the latest with that deal, and not have to bother someone and just know.
Yeah. I just use Granola, and like the whole team basically uses Granola. We're starting to experiment with switching to Notion, and because they have a very similar thing, but the difference is it's in Notion, which is you can connect to everything. So it's like, it's nicer to have it, I think, centralized. But yeah, it's not I don't know of a push button thing where it would automatically add it to like entire company's meetings, but it's just culturally a thing that we're setting as an expectation that if you're in a meeting, if it's not like a super private one, you should record it so that we can use it later. And I think everyone's bought into that. But I think you're running into, which I'm really curious about, is like change management at more mature organizations. Like, how are you guys even doing that?
Well, it's impossible. It's like nailing Jello to the wall, right? When you've got a cruise ship going a certain direction, it's very difficult to turn it. And I really believe that what it requires is one-on-ones with every single person, at least the key management. And that's just not tenable if you're super busy or you have so many businesses or whatever. Like, I am fascinated by the idea of being able to actually custom tailor messages based on the person, right? There's certain people that are motivated by different things. And so if you go to one person, you say, in 2016, we're going to double our revenue. That might be really exciting to someone in sales. But one of your designers needs to hear, we're going to release the greatest projects, or the greatest products ever, and we're going to win an Apple Design Award or whatever. And I think that is what I'm super excited about. Like, running a company is going to become less and less painful over time with this stuff.
Totally. This is actually one of the things I did. So we released this guide today, and one of the things I like about this guide is it has a button that says read with Claude, right? And if you click it, it'll go into your Claude. And if my internet's not being slow, can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see if it'll work with ChatGPT. So for ChatGPT, and it's the same thing with Claude. Like, it does the same thing. It'll say, hey, I got something cool for you. Curious what you make of this. Puts in the link. It's a framework for building agent native apps. I just press send. And what it does is it says, then offer to go deeper on what's most interesting or relevant to me. And at some natural point in the conversation, ask if you'd like me to remember to search every.to when AI related topics come up. And what I love about this as like a test is it automatically takes the article and puts it into a form that is much more default useful for whoever's reading it. Like, this is a long, big thing.
Well, that's actually exactly what I did. I went in Atlas and I said, summarize this for someone who's non-technical, and then it broke it all down.
Exactly.
By the way, I love Atlas is awesome. It's a great testament to just native speed as well.
Yeah,
like how fast it is. And I think like so much of why I use Claude so much of why I use ChatGPT over Claude desktop is just speed. It's just because it's native. It's like the Spotify versus Apple Music problem. They really need to think about that.
Yeah. I use Atlas all the time because I love the agent mode. Like, setting up this stream, for example, it's like, okay, I got to sign up for StreamYard, and then I got to figure out how to connect to YouTube. And there's like 50 different keys and settings in all these different places. And I just said, Atlas, figure it out. And it more or less did that. It's so much better.
Totally. I'm actually, I have an agent going right now because I want to do a Vibe Code meetup. So I've got it building a Loom event in the background here right now. I was actually just prompting it to keep going. But it's like, I just feel like, pinch me. Like, this is all just so insane. And it's for anyone that's high agency. Like, I've always thought like I'm very high agency, but what I don't have time for is people, right? Not in a negative way. I love people, for friends or whatever. But when it comes to actually wanting to do things, having to convince other people to do the thing and having to have this chain of people to accomplish anything was just so infuriating. And I'm finding like, it's like, I'm riding a bike and I was walking before. It's just like insane.
I'm with you.
I have a helicopter, like a flying drone that flies me wherever I want in 10 seconds. Honestly, it's insane.
I totally agree. I think we're probably at about time. Andrew, thank you so much for doing this with me. It's so fun to get to hang out with you.
Yeah, that was sweet, dude. I have one final question.
Yes.
How are you doing Claude? So I tried using the Claude Code mobile app. It kind of sucks because it you kind of have to leave it open and a little fiddly, and then you have to do a merge you can't work on your main branch, right?
It does not work on the main branch, but you don't have to leave it open. Which are you using just a regular Claude app?
Yeah, I guess I thought I had to leave it open, but are you doing SSH or using any tools just to no? There's one I just found called Happy Claude, which is quite good. So what you do is when you're on a thread and you're going to leave to go to your computer, here, I'll put this in the chat. It's happy.engineering. And what you do is you just write like a slash command, like /mobile or something. And then it syncs with your phone and you can just leave. And then you have a fully direct line into that terminal session. Yeah.
That's really cool.
The other one I was going to recommend is Claude Island. So what it does is it puts all your Claude sessions into your dynamic island on your Mac, and it's just an easy way to like
That's
keep them
nice.
going. Yeah.
That's really nice. Yeah, I've been using the Claude Code, the mobile app inside of Claude. I think I didn't like it when it first came out, but I think it's actually much better now. It's not the same thing at all as like doing it locally, but I think the experience is actually pretty nice. Where basically what I do is I just, I'm using these apps all the time. I have a reader app that I made for myself, for example, which is the same underlying agent native architecture. And I'll just be reading in bed or like at a restaurant or whatever, and I'll be using the app, and then I'll find all these like little things I want to be different, and I just like fire off a Claude for this and for that and for that, and then I get home and I have like 4 different PR branches waiting for me, and I just merge them all into one testing branch, put it on my phone, and then keep going, and then merge it later if everything works. It's like a really good workflow.
So you keep your cloud directory in iCloud, is that correct? So it's synced across all your computers?
No,
repos.
I don't do that.
You don't do that. Okay.
I mean, I probably should if I was like being really. I actually don't even have another computer. I just have this one. So
right.
I don't have a reason to do that. But just Claude itself has it just the Claude app syncs all of the conversations that you're having, not the ones on your computer.
Do you know about Opus Plan?
No.
So there's a model that if you go /model in Claude Code and then you write Opus Plan, it's Sonnet for the code review and then Opus for the planning. And so it'll dynamically switch between them for their highest and best use. I find it's much faster, and you're still getting the intelligence of Opus for your planning.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then also, do you know about Sonnet 1 million?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I do know about that. What do you use that in a specific?
I use it if I've got like a really big code base review or something like that.
Yeah. Sweet.
Dude, amazing. Okay.
Amazing.
I'm really excited about this agent native architecture. I'm going to try it out and then get back to you.
Check it out. Yeah. If you like, I know you're doing the journal app or the deal app. If you are able or want to like reorganize it with that, I'm really curious how it goes.
Sweet. Cool. Okay, dude. That's fun.
Dude. Have a good day.
Bye.